And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. First carry for Lamar Miller. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
Gone!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll look to throw. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Jabal Sheard in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriot.
And now movement here right away. Maybe a sign of things to come with this crowd. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Looking to throw. Larson, open man right side is Shark. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot. of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Back 99 Philly, here we go.
Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Anthony Barr in on the tackle.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So now at 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look, 6 DBs. Operating from the gun. Larson, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after him.
And now out comes Minnesota. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. He'll drop to throw. And again, he'll find Gronkowski complete. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down. They'll look to throw again. This will be caught just inside the 10. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. One man in the backfield. That's Miller. 2nd and goal. Again, he'll drop to throw. Touchdown, Minnesota.
That was not a designed run. It was supposed to be a pass, but it turned into an exceptional run. What a scramble for a touchdown.
Gold able to tack on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Gold now out to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Back to throw. Larson. That one complete. He finds Shark. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. And nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
So 3rd and 2, and I count 6 defensive backs out there.
Watch it now, Barney.
They run with Hines, and he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
A good return there, 17 yards. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Our first update now comes from Atlanta, and the Bucs are out to an early lead. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Room to run past midfield. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he's got to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. He'll look to throw. Open here, Adam Thielen. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And now he'll tuck it and run. And avoids the contact by sliding. Same result as last play, 14 yards and another 1st down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And he's going to pull his way down to about the 1-yard line. Call it a gain of 9 there, and it puts him in better shape here for 2nd and goal. That's what they wanted out of that 1st down play. Run it down there. Now they're knocking on the door.
The only thing that would have been better was getting it in, and now they can do whatever they want because they've got confidence on their side. Line up quickly and go, or savor it a little bit, but I run right back at them.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2nd quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football, and they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Defense may be thinking pass. They come out in the nickel on 3rd and goal. Now this time he'll look to throw. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. They'll set up a throw. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Gold now out to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. He's going to air it out deep for Green. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Larson, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace the way that you want it done. I mean, here in the first half, already twice the ball's come out and hit the turf. Got to find a way to take care of it. Otherwise, they may have to start thinking about maybe someone different at that position.
This will be caught at about the 6. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal. This one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Lamar Miller, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Gold with the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. Gold now out to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Larson. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Anthony Barr in there to sack him for a loss of 6. So it's third and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. From the gun, Larson, nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded about a yard deep. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And the Colts coming out now. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. He has been interception-prone here in his rookie season. How patient can they be with him?
That is the key question, isn't it? A lot of it depends on the head coach, what type of defense you have, and just a general understanding of the makeup of him. But the bottom line is you posed a great question. Are they at the stage where they've run out of patience and now they get to demand production? Or do you continue to stay with him this way?
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining.
Leopard!
Back to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32. Brought down there. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90. No. Check. Patriot.
Off the play fake. Larson. And his throw is incomplete. Trey Waynes, the Michigan State man, right there in coverage.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Gone!
Off play action. Larson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The Colts send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. The Colts send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super tough.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 20. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Gone! All right, now, lucky 56.
A first down carry now for Miller. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Hurry up, here we go. Green.
They'll look to throw here. Setting up the screen for Miller. Miller with first down and more. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
Now back to throw. Forced out to his left. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
The best quarterbacks that ever played the game all wanted to blend in with their teammates and be one of the guys. But sometimes you got to take modesty and put it aside. You're the franchise quarterback, the face of the team, and the guy that leads them to victory. You have to get down and protect yourself and not take hits like that.
Looking to throw. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. And this one through the uprights and good. Meanwhile, over in Lambeau, an update. And the Lions adding more points to their total, extending that lead. I would definitely imagine we'll hear more from that game as we go along. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Here's Hines. Even with that broken tackle, can't get very far. Stops short of the 30. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field.
Gone!
A final shot before break. Larson, and he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
Detroit! Gone, gone! Gone, gone!
On first down, Larson. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half, and I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again. Larson. And this is incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Looking to throw. Larson. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th.
Hey, one set. Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
Gone!
Operating from the gun. Larson. To the sideline, and he's got it. They say the feet are down. Yes, the line judge says they're in. That'll be a 1st down. Not often do 4th down conversions result in 23 yards, but that's the case here. 1st down.
Here we go.
A handoff out of the pistol. It's Drake. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
I got 11.
From the gun, Larson. He's going to sling this deep depth into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the 2nd half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They're excited about where they are in this game.
And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. A gain of 3, second down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. Try to escape the shadow of their goalpost. That helped. 10 yards, first down. Now they have a little more space to maneuver from the 15, first and 10.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now a handoff to Miller. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Here's a give to Miller. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Back to throw here. Completion left side to Miller. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. He got 29 yards that time. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Quickly to Gronkowski. That's caught. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Nice job. Nice patience right there. Put him on the right side. Let him work his way across. Put the ball in his hands and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
This quarterback now 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a first down. They go back to the ground now with Miller. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
No. Check. Patriot.
Mike 5-4.
Detroit.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's third down now. The Vikings on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7.
Here we go now. Blue 90.
They'll set up to throw. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
And Gold is able to put it through. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Ebron caught left side. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Now let's go.
On 1st and 10, Larson. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. Operating from the gun, Larson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Back to throw. Larson, hard throw, incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And this is going to be incomplete. The Colts unable to convert here on 4th down. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not.
And now Miller hit, and he fumbles. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down. He'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. They'll run with Miller. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. The great move couldn't free him. Taken down at the 10. And now here's a timeout called by the Colts on the defensive side of the ball. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's fourth down. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. And Gold is able to put it through, and that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Looking to throw. Larson. He's going to air it out deep for Green. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Here we go now. Green, 39. Green.
Throwing again. Larson. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Von Miller in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. The Colts send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. Time for a break. The Colts send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. This is taken at about the 14. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. That escapes the sack. He can run for it, and he will. And it's a fumble, and the Colts pick it up. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. He had gained really good yardage, but that's what you tell your quarterbacks, right? Get down after you got the run.
You don't have to prove your toughness. You know, I think that's what a lot of coaches are trying to preach to their guys. Get the yardage, get down, protect the football, and protect yourself from extra hits as well.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain down to about the 33. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
They run again with Hines. And he'll get it down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 3rd down. That's Hines. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
And now the Colts call on their field goal unit here. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And now out comes Minnesota. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Minnesota, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
You